Welcome back to the Cave, Mishawaka fans. I'm Cam Stokes, this is Kira Foley, and we're here with the Backyard Brawl, Mishawaka versus Penn Varsity Volleyball. As you can see by our shirts, today's a really special night in the Cave. Kira, do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, today is Pink Out Night, and you may have seen your fellow cavemen around the school and some teachers. Shout out Ebright, I saw you wearing your
yes,
shirt today.
Ebright was.
The girls were wearing their Pink Out shirts today to celebrate this event. Basically, we're raising money to go to the River Bend Cancer Center. Last year was the first time that we've hosted this event and done this and supported this foundation through volleyball. And this is our second year, and hopefully it'll be an even longer tradition. But the whole gym is decked out in pink. Everyone is wearing pink, and they're selling pink out in the corridor.
I don't know, Kira, but I love it. Anyways, we are going to get the starters real fast after that. We have number 4, Ellie Adams, number 6, Alex Lowry, number 2, Cassie Creech, number 12, Megan Barthel, number 9, Soren Scalati, and number 11, Cal Simon. Definitely a loaded roster here for the Cavemen. Some of the best players are going to be out here on the court tonight.
Yeah, hopefully it'll give us a really good shot against Penn. I know this game means a lot to the girls.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Kira and I, before volleyball season started, we sent out a poll to the volleyball girls asking them what they're looking forward to this season, and quite a few of them said to beat Penn. Definitely a matchup of the year for the Mishawaka volleyball girls. Looking forward to it. And real fast, since we're talking about starters, a loaded Mishawaka roster, we can talk about Andy Shields, a senior here at Mishawaka. She is the libero, so you'll see her on the court quite a few times. She is a crazy server. Her serve percent being 100%.
Yeah,
That's really good, Kira.
I know we've seen her serves on the court, and they're really impressive because they get it right onto that net, and so the other team just doesn't see it coming and it drops.
Oh, yeah. I always talk about that's my favorite kind of serve. When a player can hit that net and just skim it, because a lot of players think it's not going to go over, so they're not prepared for that ball when it comes over, and that's a nice and easy ace right there.
Yeah, her serves are crucial to the team.
Yeah, and you know, since we're talking about serves, I want to talk about a classmate of mine, Cal Steinman, and her serves. Unfortunately, the Cavemen did lose to Warsaw on Tuesday in Warsaw, but Cal Steinman had 3 aces in one game, scored 7 points just herself with serves.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, hopefully we see more of that tonight. I know I talked to her, and she said that she was quite annoyed with how they were playing, and she wasn't very happy about her performance, so she channeled that into her serves.
Yeah, it looks like we're about to get started here. JV game ended a little bit early, so this game is going to start a little bit early.
We come together not only to cheer on our Mishawaka Cavemen, but also to raise awareness and show our support for those who are battling, have battled, and for the loved ones we've lost to cancer. Thank you for joining us in this special night of remembrance, celebration, and community. On behalf of our athletic department and Principal Chad Brew, Mishawaka High School would like to welcome Principal Sean Gaylor, Athletic Director Jeff Hart, Head Coach Caitlin Hickey, the players, fans, and family members of the Penn Kingsmen. Tonight's officials are members of the community just like you. Without them, tonight's game would not be possible. Please give them the courtesy and respect they deserve. The officials for tonight's game are Mark Yeoman, Terry Miller, the line judges Stephanie Colcord, and Carter Powers. Mishawaka High School would also like to thank St. Joseph Health System and certified athletic trainers Hannah Hess and Maddie Haing for working hard to keep our athletes healthy and in the game. Now introducing the players available for substitution for the Penn Kingsmen. Number 2, Abby Lane. Number 3, Carson Petty. Number 4, Kyla Hurley. Number 7, Aaron Scott. Number 10, Caitlin Senor. Number 11, Layla Price. Number 12, Delaney Cromartie. Number 13, Addison Hummel. Number 15, Josie Garber. And number 16, Dottie Poeg. Introducing the starting lineup for the Penn's Kingsmen. Number 1, Montana Swartz. Number 5, Emily Noto. Number 6, Anna McCullough. Number 8, Cam Burns. Number 9, Harper Chudzicki. Number 14, Avery Olson. The Penn Kingsmen are coached by Caitlin Hickey, Adam Marshall, and John Hinshoot. The managers for the Kingsmen are Hadley Hunsberger and Keelan Whitehouse. Now introducing the players available for substitution for the Mishawaka Lady Cavemen. Number 1, Andy Shields. Number 2, Adelaide Patterson. Number 3, Addison Keene. Number 5, Morgan Ford. Number 8, Isabella Reitzke. Number 11, Callahan Steinman. And number 23, Grace Betzer. And now, the starting lineup for your Mishawaka Lady Cavemen. Number 4, Ellie Adams. Number 6, Alex Lowry. Number 7, Cassie Creech. Number 9, Soren Sculati. Number 12, Megan Barthel. And number 13, Amelia Amos. The Mishawaka Lady Cavemen head coach is Randa Adams and assisted by Taylor Strauss. The manager for the Lady Cavemen.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Welcome back to the cave for this game of Mishawaka versus Penn Volleyball. Kira, I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
You know, just to recap for anybody who isn't here, you will see a lot of pink on the court. Earlier, when you guys saw us, Kira and I are even in pink because tonight is a fundraiser for the Riverbend Cancer Foundation, and that is definitely a foundation worth looking up. They are a non-profit that goes back to helping people with cancer who may not be able to afford it, offering free services for those in need.
Yeah, and I know they're doing a lot for this fundraiser. They're selling shirts, flowers. There's a bunch of stuff out in the hall for purchase.
They were even tracking me down when I was there. All right, let's get this going. Kira, how are we feeling? What are we excited to see tonight? Tell me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, although it is a disappointment coming off a loss from Warsaw. Obviously, that'll impact the girls, but I think that they can pull themselves together. I know we're talking to the Coach Randa before the game, and she said they were just looking to compete and do their best against Penn. They know Penn is a larger school, but they are determined to not let that bother them and to still give it their all. they also talked about how they wanted to make improvements after the Warsaw game. Coach Randa said that she didn't think the score really reflected the effort that they put into it. And I think that's definitely how it can go for some sports games, particularly in volleyball. Just you don't play good, but even then the score can really just not reflect how much effort you put in.
Yeah, and speaking of putting effort in, this is definitely one of the bigger games for the Cavemen. And, I mean, I might be a little biased, but we'll see who wins. First off, we have Amelia Amos serving for the Cavemen. Amos received by number 8, Cam Burns, and a point for the Penn Kingsmen.
Yeah, that ball came in fast, and Amos just didn't look like she was ready to receive that.
Yeah, it came right back to him. Number 6, Anna McCullough, the captain for the Kingsmen. Received by Andy Shields. Creech is going to bring it up for Scolati, who goes in for the kill, and is received by Schwartz. Creech is going to bring the ball up for Scolati. Oh, not for Scolati, for Adams. The Kingsmen barely able to get that back over, but back over to the Cavemen. Creech is going to bring that over for, this time it is Scolati. Number 4, Hurley getting that receive for the Kingsmen. Adams is going to bring the ball over, received by McCullough. Schwartz sending the ball up for Burns. And the Cavemen getting that ball, sending it right out of bounds. Another point for the Cavemen.
Yeah, that was a long rally.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You know, Cavemen, Kingsmen, I mean, they both start with a K.
Yeah.
Number 6, McCullough with another serve for the Kingsmen. Adams going for the kill and sending that right out of bounds, getting another point for the Kingsmen. So far, the Kingsmen have 3 on the board. The Cavemen, none. McCullough with her 3rd serve, I believe.
Yes.
Shields and Amos both getting that ball, shanking it, and sending it right out of bounds. Point number 4 for the Kingsmen.
I think Coach Randa might call a timeout soon just to get Mishawaka back together and back in the same.
It is still a little early for that, so I'm definitely interested to see what happens. Adams going for the kill and sending it yet again out of bounds. Looks like she needs to work on that aim.
Yeah, we were talking to Coach Randa for the game, and she said they were still trying to figure it out, and their main goal was to try and be a team and more cohesive.
Yeah, we got to get those pieces together. McCullough with her 4th serve. Creech with the dump, but received by Hurley. Creech is going to bring that right back over. And they are going to call a point for the Kingsmen, a 2-touch from Creech.
No, it's not going well for the Cavemen right now.
Yes, for sure. McCullough, this time with her 5th serve. McCullough sends that ball right over to Amos. Amos bring that over, but able to get it back up for Creech. Number 9, Chutsky. Adams send that ball back over to the Kingsmen. Nolo, a key player for the Kingsmen after talking to the coach, getting a point for the Kingsmen. And there is your timeout. You're right, a timeout from Coach Randa. We're going to head over to an ad break just so that we can get readjusted, and we'll see you guys soon.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we are back in the cave at the beginning of set 1, the Mishawaka versus Penn game. Penn currently has 7 points on the board, but Mishawaka has none. Mishawaka definitely looking to close that gap a little bit. And right after this break, we will have McCullough sending the ball over the Amos. Amos shanking the ball into the line judge, out of bounds, getting the 8th point for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, it looks like Amos is coming out and Ford's coming in.
Ford, a player we don't see too often here for the Cavemen.
Yeah, hopefully mixing up this lineup will help them figure out something new and try something new.
Definitely. McCullough with another serve for the Kingsmen. Number 5, Anolo. Adams going for the kill, and it being received by Hurley. Lowry trying her best to get to the ball, just wasn't quite able to get there. Where was she?
This is an impressive performance from Penn, especially since we were talking to the coach earlier, and she said a lot of her team is young because of injuries early in the season.
Yeah.
In fact, number 9 is just a freshman, yet she's starting in this game.
McCullough with her 10th point, or with her 10th serve for the Kingsmen. Shields receiving that ball for the Cavemen. Adams is going to bring it over and be blocked by number 8 and number 5, Burns and Nolo.
Mishawaka now down 10 points.
Not off to a great start.
Yeah, this early lead by Penn is going to be hard to keep up. Is going to be hard to catch up with. But I think if they can pull themselves together, they can recover.
Definitely. Nolo with another serve for the Kingsmen. Creech is going to barely bring that ball, keep that ball with the Kingsmen. Keene is going to get that ball for the Cavemen, bring it back over to the Kingsmen. Number 5, Nolo. Adams going for the kill and received by Hurley. Schwartz bringing that ball up for Nolo, for Cam Burns, and unfortunately the Cavemen are going to send it out of bounds. That is a lot right there, Kira.
As you can see in this replay, that just came right off the tip of her fingers.
McCullough with her 12th serve. Ford receiving the ball for the Cavemen. And Adams is going to bring it up. And unfortunately, Penn is not going to be able to block that as they get the first point on the board for the Cavemen. The Cavemen are still 10 points behind, but they're bringing it back, hopefully.
Yeah, and we've seen them come back from a harder lead before, from a harder loss before. Hopefully now they can get into a bit of a rhythm now that they have some points on the board.
Yeah, Creech with the first serve for the Cavemen. Hurley bring that up for Nolo, who's going to bring it right over the Ford. Creech is going to set that ball up for Lowry, who's getting the point for the Cavemen.
Another point on the board. Hopefully they're getting something going here. These rallies are especially long, and this is where consistency is really key. Because if you can't be consistent, you're not going to win these long points.
Creech sending the ball over for the Cavemen yet again. Received by number 8, Burns. Nola's going to bring that over and be blocked by the Cavemen, but they're going to call that a Kingsman point, bringing the Cavemen back even farther. Hurley starting her first serve for the night. Ford not quite able to get under that ball, but still keeping it still. And a point. Oh, they're not going to call that a point. That's interesting there. Adams bringing that ball over to the Kingsmen, but they're going to keep it going. Number 8, Burns bringing that ball back over to Adams. Creech is setting the ball up for Lowry, who gets received by Montana. And a point for the Kingsmen.
Looks like they just weren't able to cover that all. As you can see in the replay, the ball is just going to go right into a corner.
Oh, you can see right there, she does get under that ball.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Sorry, that was the point, the confusing call. We thought that hit the ground, but it didn't.
No, number 4, Hurley bringing that ball over for the Kingsmen. Adams is going to go for the kill and received by Schwartz. Lauer bringing that ball up for Creech, who's going to bring it to Scolati, and they're going to keep it going. Number 1. Shields bringing that ball up for Adams, who's going to bring it over and received by Schwartz. Hurley bringing it over to Nolo, to Burns. Creech sending that ball up for Lowry. Burns keeps it going. Burns with her second attempt to get over that Caveman, and she does it. Another point for the Kingsmen.
You know, yeah, as you can see in that replay, it just hit that spot.
Yeah. just touches the tip of her finger and goes.
These rallies are really long.
And you know, I know that's what Coach Hickey was looking for from her Kingsmen tonight. Adams sending that ball out of bounds yet again. The Cavemen 13 points under. Hurley bringing the ball back over to the Cavemen. Short, but received by Fords. Lowry's going to bring that ball over and get another point for the Cavemen.
Yeah, that was a really good scramble for the ball.
Definitely.
Penn's been really successful so far in finding our weak points and hitting them, especially with their stronger hitters. But that was an instance of getting to that ball and stopping that hit from hitting an empty space.
Yeah, Burns keeping that ball going right under the crow's nest and
into the stands.
Yeah, into the stands. Thank you. I could not think of the word there, Kira. Okay, real fast while we have a minute, I gotta ask. I know this is a very hot topic within volleyball. How do we feel of the socks up to the knee pads? Do we like them? Do we not like them?
Yeah, I think it's really personal preference. Honestly, for me, I like it on the knees, mainly because I'm just terrified if I get down and slide that my knees are going to hit the court and just get
Personally,
skinned.
I like the aesthetic of the ankle socks. You know, I don't like that going up to knee pads. But anyways, back to the game. Quick discussion there. Number 3, Petty. Petty setting that ball up for number 10, Spencer. Adams sending that ball back over to the Kingsmen, received by McCullough. Burns taking it back over, received by Ford. Adams bringing that ball over, barely received by McCullough, and they're gonna keep it going. Wow. Creech bringing that ball over, almost finding that weak spot, but saved by Petty. Burns is gonna bring it over, but be blocked by Lowry and Barthel. Couldn't quite see her face there. We'll watch that recap real fast.
As you see, it just comes right off
off Lowry. Ellie Adams with her first serve for the Cavemen. Cavemen still 13 behind. And out of bounds, a little too much fire behind that serve. I think we've seen that quite a few times from Adams so far tonight.
Yeah, especially with all the pressure. I mean, this is pink out night, and you're facing Penn, one of our biggest rival. There's a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, definitely. Number 8, Burns with her serve for the Kingsmen. Received by Lowry, just barely, and Lowry's going to bring it over. Number 10, Senior is going to keep it going. Number 6. Amos bringing it over the Hurley. Spencer's going to keep it going for McCullough. Lowry trying to bring it over, but into the net. They're going to call that a 4-touch for the Cavemen.
I think we've seen tonight that Penn has a really good defense, and that's what the coach was saying before the game. They were focusing mainly on their defense this game just to keep Mishawaka on their toes, and they're definitely succeeding in that.
Definitely Burns sending that ball over to the Cavemen. Amos getting the point for the Cavemen, making it right through that Kingsman wall. Lowry is serving for the Cavemen.
You know, I think the Cavemen, their hitting has been very good and really hard, but it's just been Penn's defense has just been anticipating every move at every turn.
Oh yeah, Penn has definitely had that scrappy defense like Coach Hickey wanted. Send that ball right over to the Kingsmen. Number 3, Petty not quite able to get under that ball and not quite able to make anything happen.
I think Petty was the one last point who was also diving for that ball. She's definitely very determined to get it.
Yeah, Lowry with a serve for the Cavemen. Lowry bringing that ball over the Hurley. Number 3, Petty's going to bring that up for Olsen. Adams bringing that ball back over to the Kingsmen. Hurley bringing it up for McCullough. McCullough sends it right over the Amos. Adams went for a back row hit and getting the point for the Cavemen. Cavemen now at 7 points, the Kingsmen at 19.
Yeah, that was another really good hit by Adams. She's had good hits. Yeah, as you can see there. That was just a really strong hit.
This entire time she's had a lot of power, and especially now that she's in the back row, she's able to use that power and get somewhere with it. Lowry serving for the Cavemen. Nicola going for the kill, received by Lowry. Creech is going to set the ball up for Amos to go for the kill, but blocked by the Kingsmen. Right, able to get in between all the Cavemen.
Yes, just weren't anticipating for it to come back at them that quick. Looks like Lowry's coming out and Keen is coming on for the Cavemen.
And number 14, Avery Olsen is going to serve for the Kingsmen. Olsen bringing the ball over to Adams. Creech is going to set the ball up for Amos, going for keeping that ball going. Number 6, McCullough bringing it back over to the Cavemen. Barthel going for the kill, but not quite making it through that wall, and it's going to be a Caveman point when the Kingsmen send it out of bounds.
Looks like
Scolati's going to come in for Steinman.
And Shields is coming in.
Shields, our libero that we highlighted here at the beginning of the game. Hopefully we can see the serve that I love from her.
That was a little higher than normal,
Yeah.
but it's
Still beautiful.
Still close to that net.
I love it. Adams sending the ball back over to the Kingsmen, received by Hurley. Petty's going to bring that up and over to the Cavemen. Not quite able to get under that ball.
Yeah, it looks like Scolati got a touch there, but that might have knocked the ball off kilter a little bit, and they just weren't anticipating that ball.
Number 1, Schwartz with her first serve for the Kingsmen tonight. Sending it over the Shields. Amos is going to go into the bench. Unfortunately, none of her teammates were there. I feel like if one of her teammates were there, they could have made something happen.
Yeah, honestly.
It was way out of bounds, though, so I'll give her that.
One of my favorite things about volleyball is even when that ball goes way out of bounds, there's still a chance you can get it back in. Just until it touches that ground, it's still in play.
Definitely. Scolati going for the kill, but Hurley's going to receive the ball, but send it back over to the Cavemen. McCullough sending that ball over to the Cavemen, and they're going to keep it going. Wow, I cannot talk today, Kira. Number 5, Noto. Hurley receiving the ball for the Kingsmen. Number 1, Schwartz bringing it up and over from number 6. Amos bringing that ball over, and Schwartz shanking it, getting another point for the Cavemen.
Yeah, we had some really strong hits there. As you can see in this replay, that was a real strong hit. Penn just wasn't anticipating it, and it came right off him.
Yeah,
Shanked it.
I think this is definitely a theme that we're going to see tonight, is a lot of long and lengthy valleys.
Yeah, I think Mishawaka's not necessarily underperforming. They're hitting decent tonight. It's just Penn's defense is always there, just anticipating every move, just there to receive their hits. When in other teams that we've played, their hitting has been spot on and has worked. Penn's just got the upper hand on them with their defense.
Yeah. Amos was a serve for the Cavemen. McCullough bringing that back over the Amos. Creech is going to bring that ball over, but it's going to keep it going. And they are going to call that a Caveman point for number 10, senior, being in the net. Let me rephrase that real fast. Not senior, that is Nolo in the net. Kira, we got a minute. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I know that the score looks pretty bad, 22-11, but I think we're playing okay. I think we need to be talking a bit more. Penn is definitely finding those spots where we're lacking. And
speaking of Penn, trying to go after the ball, not quite able to get there, shanking it back.
Yeah, Penn's had a few shanks, especially in the later half of this set here. Man, hopefully Mishawaka will be able to take advantage of that.
Amos with another serve, received by McCullough. Number 5, Nola's going to go for the kill and get a point for the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen are now 2 points away from the set.
Yeah, as you can see in this replay here, that was just a really powerful hit, came right off the wall onto the ground.
Number 6, Makola, serving for her second time. And the Kingsmen sent that ball right out of bounds. There wasn't much explaining I needed to do there.
You know, I wouldn't want to be the Mishawaka defense right now because the Kingsmen just have such powerful hits. Being on the receiving end of that ball would not be fun. Now we have Keene coming out, taking the bench. And
Creech is going to serve the ball for the Cavemen. Number 1, Schwartz bringing that ball up and getting a point for the Cavemen.
Good communication by the Cavemen there. Even if it did seem a bit obvious, they all made sure to call out so that none of their fellow teammates went for the ball.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes it's just what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. I know in every sport, it's always coaches are always saying, talk.
Oh, absolutely, even if it's the obvious things. Number 8, Birds bringing the ball back over to the Cavemen. Lowry's going to go for the kill. Fortunately for the Cavemen, keeping that ball inbounds. It looks like it hit that back corner. We'll see in the replay here.
Yeah, as you're about to see, that hit, it was powerful, but it was right on point and just hit right in that corner. Kingsmen had no shot.
Yeah, it looks like, honestly, you can't really tell from the angle. We need another camera on the other side. Mr. Rundle, I know you hear me right now. Keep my suggestions as a note. Creech sending that ball over to the Kingsmen. Number 1, Schwartz is going to get that up and over. Creech sending the ball up for Scolati, who's going to send it way out of... Wow, that's a shank. Okay, they're going to be point. I got to be honest, I did not see that, Kira. Let's keep it here for a minute during this ad break. You know, we kind of talked about it earlier, but this is a big thing for me. Volleyball aesthetic. We have seen the knee pads under the knees. We've seen the high socks. Kira, what are the things that you love to see a volleyball player wearing? I need to know.
Honestly, the shoes are kind of what I like to see.
Oh, yeah.
Shoes are just, in every sport, so customizable, and they come in such wacky colors that you'd never see in just regular tennis shoes. You see the neons and the
oh yeah, like Creech's shoes, the rainbow.
Yeah, I know my tennis shoes have purple and bright orange, and it's just so fun and just such a cool way for each girl to just express themselves. Especially, speaking of the attire, all the girls you can see are wearing pink shorts tonight.
Even some of the Kingsmen sporting pink in their workout. Mr. Rundle over here taking pictures of somebody. I'm not sure who. Hopefully not me. Creech sending that ball over to the Kingsmen. Number 1, Schwartz is going to get that up, and the point for the Cavemen.
You know, the Cavemen were really lagging by a lot, but they've been able to close that gap remarkably. Especially in the second half of the set, the Kingsmen seem to have relaxed a little bit, and I think the Cavemen are taking advantage of that.
Yeah. Creech bringing that ball over to the Kingsmen. Number 1, Schwartz is going to bring it up for Burns. Scolati keeping it going for Lowry. Almost blocked, but Hurley is able to get up in there. Number 5, Nolo is able to keep it going, getting a point for the Kingsmen. It is now set point. And actually, we're going to pause it real fast. Ellie, number 4, Ellie Adams, getting her 1,000th dig. Congrats, Ellie Adams.
And on pink out night, too.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear in the crowd mic, but people are getting quite excited. And actually, that event throwing off the Kingsmen and getting a point for the Cavemen. The Kingsmen are still at a set point.
It's like Steinman's coming in to serve. Scolati's coming out.
Speaking of Ellie Adams, she's down there celebrating a little bit. I know she doesn't really have time to, but she's getting excited. 1,000, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I know she'd love to celebrate, but the Cavemen really need her right now in this tough game.
And that is set point for the Kingsmen. We got 3 minutes. We're going to go to an ad break so that you guys can hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back shortly, Kira.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we are back in the cave with a matchup of the Mishawaka Cavemen and the Penn Kingsmen, who you see on the screen right now. You're probably wondering, why is he on the screen? That is Coach Anderson, the former Mishawaka volleyball coach, a big deal here in the cave. He has 2 volleyball championships with the Cavemen and 3 runner-ups. That is actually more than 2. There's quite a few up here. I can only see the 2. Fun fact, his first 1980 team was the team that my aunt was on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he grew up coaching 2 of my aunts. He coached actually 3 of my aunts. He knows my mom from volleyball. He coached me a little bit, He's a very nice face to see here, and I'm sure the girls love seeing him supporting the team.
Yeah,
still.
Definitely a legacy here at Mishawaka.
Yeah. And his brother, Dan Anderson, is one of the coaches over at John Young.
Oh, wow.
He used to be at Marion, and then he moved over to John Young, I believe my 8th grade year.
Yeah, definitely a very strong volleyball family. Then.
Oh, definitely. Well, Kira, that was an unfortunate loss for the Cavemen, getting that first set. What are some improvements that you want to see?
Well, here in this second set, I think I want to see the Cavemen. I know it sounds corny because everyone says this, but I think I really want to see them talk more and be more aware of the court around them, because Penn's really good hitting team, and they've done a really good job so far of finding those spots and those gaps and just hitting it right there. And I think the Cavemen just need to be more aware of the court and where those gaps are and be able to go and fill them. Yeah,
definitely. I 100% agree there. The Kingsmen are definitely playing well, defense and offensively, but especially defensively. Every time the Cavemen think they can find that hole or they think they get there, because the Cavemen have a history of playing very smartly. I say it pretty much every stream. I say it every game I watch. The Kingsmen are just able to get right up to that.
Hopefully, with a clean slate, Mishawaka will be able to come ahead.
Schwartz with the first serve of the second set. Adams is going to bring the ball over to the Kingsmen. Number 8. That is Cam Burns.
See, that's just what I was talking about there. They left that spot open on the court, and the Kingsmen saw it, and they hit it. And they just need to be more aware of that and be able to cover that area.
Yeah, Montana Schwartz with her second serve. Schwartz sending that ball over to Amos, who's bringing it over the crease. Scolati setting it up. Amos keeping that ball going, but unfortunately sending it out of bounds. Getting a point for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, that was such a strong hit. As you can see here, I don't think Amos even meant to send it over the net. It just came so hard that it just bounced off.
Just the momentum that went to her. Shields receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Adams is going to bring it over and out of bounds, getting a 3rd point. for the Kingsmen. You know, Kira, there's a lot of points like that that could be avoidable for the Cavemen, sending it either out of the back, over to either of the sides.
Yeah, I think the Kingsmen just really have them rattled, and they're getting a little bit scrappy tonight.
Number 1, Schwartz. Adams bringing that ball over, but blocked by the Kingsmen. They're going to keep it. They're going to keep it going. A little bit of miscommunication from McCullough and Burns.
As you can see there,
point.
Everyone's always talking about communication. You got to talk, and this is why. Just simply not talking to each other can end up costing you a whole point. And a whole point is a lot to lose.
Cassie Creech with the serve for the Cavemen, received by Burns. McCullough bringing that ball over, but blocked by Scolati. The Kingsmen are going to keep it going, but send it all the way to the back. A point for the Cavemen.
Yeah, Burns really going it for it there, but she just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah. Well said, Kira, well said.
Creech, a very consistent server. Hopefully she'll be able to get some points on the board for the Cavemen.
Received by McCullough. McCullough sending it back over to the Cavemen. Creech with a roll getting the ball. Hurley keeping it going out of bounds. Creech, the ball going right over her head. It seems that she's brushing it off and keeping it going.
Yeah, and that's really what you've got to do here, especially when Penn, the Kingsmen, are coming at them this hard. You just got to keep moving forward and not let it get to your head.
McCullough serving for the Kingsmen. Amos receiving the ball. Lowry bringing it over, but blocked. It actually, hopefully we can get a replay here of what just happened, because I'm definitely being interested to see what happened again.
Looks like we're gonna keep going. That was McCullough serving.
A little bit of confusion there from the Cavemen. Adams keeping the ball going. Number 5, Nolo, getting that ball right in front of Amos.
Yeah, the Kingsmen have been really good at finding those spots to hit, but they also have such a strong hit that the Mishawaka Cavemen just don't even have time to cover those spots.
No, she doesn't. McCullough serving yet again for the Kingsmen. Shields receiving that ball and sending it right back over. The Cavemen need a lot more communication there. They keep that ball going. Number 1, Schwartz. Creech sending the ball up for Adams, received by Hurley. Burns going to keep it going, but blocked by Lowry. And actually, they're going to call that a Kingsman point.
Looks like we're going to call a timeout here.
We're going to call a timeout there. I'm going to figure out what happened because I honestly didn't see that. And we'll be back after this ad break.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We are back after that message from IHSAA.
Mishawaka is currently trailing by 5 points, 2-7 in the second set. Penn won the first set. Mishawaka Cavemen are hoping to get the second one back.
McCullough, the team captain for the Kingsmen, serving. Into the net, a Caveman point, shrinking that trail just little by little. And honestly, it's what you got to do.
Football team's out here tonight supporting the Cavemen.
Yeah, just like the volleyball team will be supporting them tomorrow. Their game against Concord. It will be on IHSAA TV and Mishawaka Network. Make sure you go check that out. Mr. Rendell and Daniel Phillips will be on the call. And that is a Mishawaka Caveman point. The Kingsmen sending the ball out of bounds. Again, shrinking that trail little by little.
Hopefully that point will allow the Cavemen to get a bit momentum here.
Steinman with another serve for the Cavemen. Schwartz barely getting under there, but getting under there. Burns sending the ball. What are they going to call it? They're going to call that inbounds. Number 9, Harper Chutsky with the serve. I believe this is the first time we've seen her serve today. Cal Steinman receiving the ball for the Kingsmen. Ellie Adams is going to hit that and send it way out of bounds. A little too much smoke behind that one. Ellie Adams grabbing the ball and bringing it back over the Chutsky. Chutsky serving the ball for the Kingsmen. Cal Steinman barely going to get under that, but getting under that. Barthel keeping it going. Seems like she's limping after that. We'll have to see what happens. Ellie Adams bringing that ball over, but received by McCullough. Schwartz is going to bring it up for Burns, who's going to bring it over, and barely received by Amos. Creech is going to keep it going for the Cavemen. Barthel bringing it back over to the Kingsmen. Schwartz bringing that ball up for number 14, Avery Olson, who's going to get a point for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, Mishawaka just hasn't been able to anticipate that ball. Their Kingsmen hits have been so hard, and they've been playing really fast on their side. Mishawaka just hasn't been able to keep up so far. Hopefully they'll be able to change that.
Hopefully. Number 9, Chutsky, just handing over a point to the Cavemen. The Cavemen are shrinking their lead. They follow the Kingsmen lead by 5. Ellie Adams with a serve for the Cavemen. Reserved by Hurley. Number 5, Nolo trying to bring the ball over and not quite able to do it. Adams with their second serve. Received by McCullough, brought over by number 14, Avery Olson, getting a point for the Kingsmen.
That was a fast hit, as you'll be able to see on this replay here.
Which the replay only keeps about the last 10-ish, I'm going to say the last 10 seconds, I don't know for sure. So all of that happened within 10 seconds.
Yeah. And honestly, that hit was so hard and so fast, the camera was barely able to keep up with it.
Yeah, number 3, Petty, bringing the ball over. Amos getting a point for the Cavemen.
That was a good spot by Amos.
Bringing our score to 7-11. 7-11, man, the Slurpee does sound pretty good right now. Maybe I'll go get gas just for an excuse to get a Slurpee. Lowry serving for the Cavemen. Burns bring the ball over to the Cavemen. Adams is going to bring it right back, though. Number 6, McCullough going for a back row hit. Amos going for the kill, but blocks. A point for the Kingsmen.
Looks like Lowry is going off, and coming on for her is King. Gonna have Burns serve it over. Creech sitting right over.
Hurley setting it up for number 10, Chutsky. Amos bringing it back over the Burns. McCullough's gonna bring it over the Adams. And Barthel is gonna get the point for the Cavemen. You know, I kind of knew that was gonna happen, honestly. I was gonna say he's gonna get the point, and then it just happens.
Looks like our libero Shields is coming on. You know, that's just what I was saying. You could see in that point, the Cavemen had a lot of strong hits, but Penn was just able to receive them each time. but then they made a very strategic move. They found a spot and they dumped it, and that's how they got the point.
Yeah, Shields serving for the Cavemen. Shanked by McCullough, but Hurley is able to bring it back in for McCullough to bring it over.
As we know, Shields serves are not easy to receive.
No, they're not. Number 14, Olsen bringing it right over, but they're gonna call that a lift, getting the Cavemen point. Shields serving again for the Cavemen. And they are gonna call that inbounds right in the corner. That is gonna be an ace for Andy Shields.
Another impressive serve from Shields. She is just the standout server on this team today.
Shields looking for another ace maybe. And right into the net. That is a point just handed over to the Kingsmen.
Yeah, her serves are really good at getting close to the net, but obviously once you do it so many times, you're bound to hit the net at least once.
And you know what? It happens to the best of us.
Just got to brush it off and move forward.
Hurley serving the ball again, just like we said, into the net, handing over a point to the Cavemen. The Cavemen score now 11-13. Cavemen trailing by 2.
You know, especially in varsity games, you don't often see 2 serves in a row go into the net.
Oh no. Amos, a strong, powerful serve. McCullough gonna bring it over, but received by Amos. Creech is gonna dig it out of the net for Scolati to almost be blocked, able to break through that Kingsman wall. The Cavemen now trailing by 1. We just gotta rewatch that replay because that was pretty there. Right there, hit her hands and went right down. And that is gonna be a Kingsmen timeout. The score is now 12-13. The Cavemen just down by 1. We're gonna go into an ad break.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we are back in the cave after this timeout. The Cavemen trailing the Kingsmen by 1. Anything can happen right now, Kira.
Yeah, definitely. Mishawaka's had a very impressive comeback in the second set. Hopefully they can keep it up.
Amos serving the ball for the Cavemen. McCullough's gonna bring it over just nice and gently. Creech setting it up for Scolati, who's gonna break through the Kingsman wall and keep it going. Number 3, Petty. And that is gonna be a Caveman point.
It is now a tied game.
There's a new face on the court for the Kingsmen. Number 7, Aaron Scott. Creech setting the ball up for Scolati, who's gonna get the point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen now leading by 1. What an impressive play from the Cavemen.
Definitely a very strategic play, which we've known them to have in the past. They prefer to play smart rather than hard, and that's helped them there.
Amos serving for the Cavemen, and you can definitely see that visible deep brush she took there, but she's getting ready. A little too much power behind that, sending it out of bounds, tying the score back up for the Cavemen and the Kingsmen.
Looks like the pressure might be getting to them a little bit.
Number 1, Montana Schwartz serving and hitting that net. My favorite type of serve right there. Adams bringing the ball over for the Cavemen to be received by the Kingsmen. Kingsmen are going to keep that ball going. Number 5, Nolo. McCullough sending that ball over to the Cavemen. They're going to keep going and send that ball back to the Kingsmen. Shields receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Adams is going to go for the kill, but blocks. Schwartz keeping it going, and there is going to be a Caveman point. The score now 15-14.
We've seen, especially in this matchup, that there have been a lot of long points, and it's been really drawn out. Hopefully winning one of those really long drawn out points is going to encourage the Cavemen.
Yeah. Creech send that ball over to the Kingsmen. Number 6, McCullough sending it back over the Creech to be reserved by Keene. Almost into the bleachers, not quite, and that is going to be a Kingsman point. They almost had something there, Kira.
Yeah, Adams was almost able to get it, even though it was basically in the bleachers.
I gotta be honest, I thought that was gonna come up here for a minute. Number 6, McCullough serving the ball for the Kingsmen. Amos receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Adams sending it back over for Burns. Creech touching the ball, and she knew she wasn't supposed to touch that.
Yeah, it just came at her, and out of reflex, she reached for
like
it.
instinctually.
Although if she hadn't reached for it, I don't know who else would have.
I thought it was gonna go out of bounds. And obviously so did she. Lowry sent the ball over. A little confusion between McCullough and Hurley. Burns is going to send the ball back over to the Cavemen. Shanked by Amos. Creech is going to keep it going, though, for Adams to bring it over, and it is going to go out of bounds. Getting another point for the Kingsmen. McCullough serving the ball for the Kingsmen. Creech setting the ball up for Scolati, who found that hole and is going to go right to the Kingsmen.
And after that impressive play, Scolati is going to come out. Steinman's going to come in for her. And Shields is going out, and Barthel's coming in for her.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they took Scolati out when they did.
Sometimes even the best players need a break.
Oh, definitely. Cal Steinman serving the ball for the Cavemen, received by Hurley. Schwartz is going to bring it up for Shutsky. McCullough with the ball. Burns bringing it over to the Cavemen, received by Amelia Amos. What a play from the Kingsmen there. Number 6, McCullough diving for the ball and just not quite able to get there. You can see it on the replay. The ball ends up over there, and she unfortunately isn't able to do anything with it.
That was an impressive hit from Adams, especially considering how far back on the court she was.
Absolutely. Number 5, Emily Nato. Kyle Simon serving the ball for the Cavemen. Received by Hurley. Schwartz is going to bring it up for Burns, who's going to bring it over the Cal. Lauer bringing that ball over to be received by Hurley. And that is going to be a Kingsman point. And a lot of confusion there for Alex Lowry. Number 9, Harper Shutsky. A point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen now in the lead by 1. I think this is going to be a close game tonight, Kira.
Yeah, me too. You know, we've seen a lot of inconsistency in the performance from the Kingsmen, and that's probably due to the fact that they have a line-out that's constantly on rotation just because of how many of their starters they're missing tonight.
All 3 of their middles out for injury. And then be another Caveman point. A little too much fire behind that from Burns.
I know we talked to the, looks like we're heading to a timeout here. Mishawaka leading 20-18 in the second set. We're gonna go to a bit of an ad break.
And hear from some of our sponsors.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we're back at the Cave. The Mishawaka Cavemen are facing the Penn Kingsmen. Mishawaka currently leading 20-18 in the second set after losing the first. Let's see how the rest of this game is gonna go.
Burns bringing the ball over the Caveman. Creech barely getting under that with a pancake there. Burns bringing the ball over yet again. Creech is gonna set the ball up for, it looks like, Amos. There's gonna be a touch from the Kingsmen, and that ball is gonna go right out of bounds.
And the crowd is going wild, especially after that disappointing first set.
The Cavemen are back, and they are here.
Yes, and the supporters are here with them.
You know, earlier we talked about Coach Anderson for a minute, and then we talked about his brother. His brother, Dan Anderson, is now in the house. Steve and Dan both in the Cave, here supporting the girls. Kyle Steinman receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Hurley is gonna set it up for Burns. Lowry's gonna send the ball over, and it's gonna be shanked by Schwartz and caught by a bystander. If he didn't touch it, maybe she would have gotten it, who knows?
You know, I think it's important to note here that both the Cavemen and the Kingsmen have pretty impressive offensive games, and they're having really good hits tonight. I think it's going to come down to their defense.
Absolutely. Short setting the ball up for Olsen. And that is going to be a point for the Kingsmen. Mishawaka at 21, the Kingsmen at 19. Kira, I know I've said it a few times, but genuinely anything can happen tonight.
Definitely. Now the Kingsmen are making some more subs, switching up the lineup yet again. Maybe it might cause some inconsistencies in their play and a lack of communication.
Creech bringing the ball up for Amos to be received by McCullough.
Such a strong hit.
Wow. The Cavemen are keeping it going. I'm not sure how they are right now. And they're going to call that a lift from Lowry.
That was very sloppy play by the Cavemen, but hey, whatever keeps the ball in. As I said,
Yeah.
Penn, the Kingsmen have such a powerful offensive game that their defense is really being tested right now.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to go into another timeout.
Creech was trying to get some information there from the ref. As Coach Randa called a timeout, the Cavemen are leading by 1. Anything can happen. We're going to go to an ad break during this break.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the Cave. We have 15 seconds left in this break. We are going to go to the JV and freshman team on the sidelines getting hype. They are getting excited for their teammates, doing the dance, music's playing.
Yeah, in every sport, there's a lot of support from the JV teams, but especially in volleyball, the culture around it is such a team sport, and there's a lot of camaraderie, and you'll always see the JV team on the sidelines hyping up varsity, and it's such an amazing thing to see. Just another part of volleyball culture. That's what not to love. Looks like we're gonna get a serve by Lane.
A Caveman point. The score is now 22-20. Lowry with the serve for the Cavemen.
Getting close to the end of the set. Curious to see who's gonna pull through here. I think the Cavemen might have it.
I think so. Lowry bringing that ball over. McCullough's going to keep it going for Burns to be received by Adams. Creech is going to bring it over. Burns bringing it back over to the Caveman and out of bounds. That's going to be a point because of a touch there. The score now just up by 1.
As you can see in this replay here, went out, but they got Mishawaka Cavemen touched it before.
Yeah. Keene receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Creech is going to keep it going as Barthel is going to jump there and then flinched.
Not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah.
Cavemen need to keep it together if they want to pull through.
Burns trimming the ball for the Kingsmen. Adams with a back row hit received by number 3, Patty. McCullough bringing it over for Steinman. Amos bringing that ball over yet again, and it is in bounds. Out of bounds, but because of a touch, the Cavemen to get that point. There's going to be a few subs here. Kyle Steinman going out, Scolati coming in, and number 7, Aaron Scott coming in for Cam Burns.
Hopefully Shields will be able to deliver on her serve.
Received by Hurley. Patty's going to bring it up for McCullough, who I think she almost missed that ball there, sending it out of bounds and a point for the Cavemen. This is set point. One more point and the Cavemen win the set. I'm not sure if y'all can hear, but the crowd is getting excited. Shields serving for the Cavemen, and that is going to be a point for the Kingsmen. The score at 24-23. It is still a set point for the Cavemen, but the Kingsmen just need 2 more to get the set point.
It is still anyone's game.
Absolutely. The game's going until it's over. Keene receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Amos is going to bring it over and into the net.
It is now tied 24-24. Now, for volleyball, it's normally first to get to 25 wins, but if it's close like this, you have to be winning by 2 points. So next point will not be the win.
Amos bringing the ball over, getting a point for the Cavemen. Everybody getting excited. We're going to watch that replay real fast.
Just a good spot there by Amos.
Absolutely. The Kingsmen didn't even need to touch it.
Cavemen need 1 more point to win the second set.
Amelia Amos with the serve. Brought back over to the Cavemen already. Scolati going in and received by number 7. McCullough bringing it over, tying the score up yet again.
This second set has been unbelievably close, as you can see here. Just spiked that down and weren't ready for it. It's now going to be the Kingsmen serve.
Served by number 1, Schwartz, received by Amos. Keene is going to set it up for Adams, who's going to keep the ball going. Schwartz setting it up for McCullough, who gets a point for the Kingsmen. Coach Randa is not happy there. She is mad.
Yeah, as you can see in this replay, it just hit, and they're just not covering where they need to be covering. They need to be looking around at the court. Now, if Kingsman get this point, they win the second set.
Creech bringing the ball up for Adams. He's bringing it over and received by number 7, Burnt. A point for the Cavemen, tying it up yet again. We're going to watch a replay real fast. There we go.
This second set has just been unbelievably close. Mishawaka has really decided to bring their A game and are determined to get this set.
McCullough bringing the ball in hard. A point for the Cavemen.
Looks like it's going to be a point for the Kingsmen there.
McCullough serving yet again for the Kingsmen. She has been a very consistent server throughout this match.
One more point and the Kingsmen win this second set.
Received by Shields. Creech is going to set it up for Lowry. Going to bring it back over to McCullough. Number 5, Nalo. Keeping it going, McCullough trying to dig it out of the court. And that is going to be a 5-touch, another point for the Cavemen, tying up the score yet again.
Looks like Scalati is going to be coming out, Steinman's coming in, and Shields is coming out, and Barthel's coming in. Those are some risky substitutions for such a close end of the set.
Cal Steinman serving for the Cavemen, received by Burns. Burns is going to bring it back over to the Cavemen, and blocked by the Cavemen. It is 28-27.
Yet again, the Kingsmen need just one more point to win the second set.
Received by Amos. Creech is going to bring it up and over. And that is a Caveman point, tying up the score yet again, 28-28.
It's like the Kingsmen keep getting ahead, but choking on that last point. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it. Now it's a tied game once again. Mishawaka serving.
Number 5, Nalo, getting a point for the Kingsmen.
Once again, the Kingsmen are up by 1 point. Let's see if they choke on this. They have yet to be able to secure that final point. Let's see if they'll turn it around.
Number 3, Carson Petty. Received by Lowry, it's going to go over, and that's going to be a Kingsman point. The Kingsmen winning 28-30. What a crazy set.
As you can see in this replay, it just came in hard, and the Cavemen weren't ready for it.
Yeah, we're going to go to an ad break. The Cavemen have won 0 sets. The Kingsmen have won 2, and we have 5 minutes till the next set starts.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the cave after this incredible game between the Cavemen and the Kingsmen. The Cavemen not having a single set under their belt, but the second set being very close, the score being 30-28. The game's not over until it's over, Kira. They have 3 more sets to make something happen.
Yeah, definitely. You can't give up, especially when you're down like this. It's when you need to try your hardest. It looks like number 11 is wearing, Steinman is wearing the libero
You're
shirt.
right. Steinman and Shields changed. Steinman now in the libero jersey.
Wonder what Coach Adams was thinking.
Well, I know Steinman was one of the contenders for libero.
Yeah, definitely. A strong player.
So I wonder if there's there has to be some sort of reasoning behind it. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to Cal tomorrow and see what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Wonder what's going through her head right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially so late into the game, changing it up like this. Maybe it'll give the K-Men just a new perspective in what they need.
Yeah, Amelia Amos with the serve. Simon going for the ball, not quite able to get there.
like I said, both teams are strong offensively. It's just going to be whoever's defense can pull through. As you can see, Steinman just wasn't able to get there in time. Was a little too far back for receiving.
Yeah, McCullough with the serve for the Kingsmen. Scolati bringing it back over. Schwartz not able to stopping it, getting a point for the Cavemen.
Yeah, Scolati did a really good job hitting it there, and it looks like the Kingsmen just weren't able to get under it and shanked it.
Yeah. Cassie Creech with a serve for the Cavemen. Received by number 4, the libero. Creech getting that ball for Adams, who's gonna bring it over and get a point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen 2 points, the Kingsmen 1.
Obviously, it's really early in the set, and it's hard to tell, but it looks like the Kingsmen are struggling a little bit defensively early in the set.
Like I said, this game is not over until it's over. Creech serving the ball for the Cavemen. Number 8, Burns receiving the ball for the Kingsmen. Nola going for the kill, but blocked by Scolati.
Another defensive mistake by the Kingsmen there. It's really good to see the Cavemen have brought their A game into this third set, even after losing the first 2.
Yeah, Creech serve number 3. Hurley receiving the ball, and Schwartz setting it up for Burns, and blocked yet again by Scolati and Lowry. Cavemen at 4 points, the Kingsmen at 1.
Number 8, Burns for the Kingsmen has been a very consistent hitter. It looks like Mishawaka is looking for her hits particularly.
Absolutely, and that is going to be a 4 touch from the Kingsmen. Mishawaka getting a point, now up by 4. This is the biggest lead we've seen from the Cavemen so far.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to keep it going.
Creech serving the ball for the Cavemen. Received by number 9. Oh, number 8, Burns. Excuse me for that. Lowry. Schwartz setting it up for Nolo, being blocked yet again by Scolati. Scolati is on fire, a defensive weapon for the Cavemen right now. We're gonna play a replay just so we can see that.
That was a perfect wall. Mishawaka has been very consistent throughout this season with their walls.
Creech serving the ball out of bounds. You can see she says, "It's okay, I got it, guys."
A little encouragement from Coach Adams on the sidelines there.
Yeah. Kyla Hurley serving for the Kingsmen. Number 6, Lowry trying to get it over, but not quite able to.
Into the net.
She was standing out of bounds. She was ready to make that run, to make that jump, and it just wasn't where she needed it to be. I can see that she's standing far enough back where she wants to get a kill. She's trying to make herself into a weapon there. Adams getting a point for the Cavemen with the kill.
Right on the line.
Oh, yeah. I'm almost wondering what Lowry's plan is. You know, she's standing so far back in the front that she's almost giving away what her idea is, but the ball hasn't come to her once while she stood there. Number 1, Andy Shields. Start with McCullough and Schwartz. Number 14, Avery Olson getting a point for the Kingsmen.
Looks like Steinman's getting some coaching on the sidelines there, maybe some advice. This is her first time playing libero this season, I believe, so definitely a big adjustment, and it takes a lot of getting used to, especially when you're forced into the game cold turkey like this.
Number 3, Carson Petty with her serve for the Kingsmen. Adams sending the ball over to Hurley. Number 14, Avery Olson. You know, kind of making her plan obvious there, but not quite able to do anything with it. Carson Petty with another serve for the Kingsmen. Receive. Oh, there's Shields on the court. in a maroon jersey. I just realized that. You know, we said something earlier, Andy Shields, the libero.
It looks like they're arguing the point here.
And the line judge is going to come up to the up ref, and they're going to go talk about this and see what's going on here. And while they're doing that, we're going to go back to Shields real fast. She was playing as
It's like the line judges are discussing.
they're having a discussion there, and there was a hit from the Kingsman side. They're not quite sure able to do with that. And they're going to call that a caveman point. Anyways, back to Andy Shields real fast. She was playing as libero, and they swapped her out. Now playing as just a defensive specialist for the Cavemen. I'm wondering what their plan for her is.
Yeah, might just be giving Steinman a break and a little bit of coaching advice.
That's definitely something I got to ask about, though. Number 10, Harper Shudsky. Sorry, Caitlin Senior. They're going to play a replay real fast of that. Harley going for the receive and barely getting there. Critch is going to get the ball for Shields to bring it up. Adams going for that back row. Hey, Harley barely receiving that ball. They're keeping it going. And unfortunately, Adams shanking the ball.
Yeah, she just wasn't able to get under it. Came at her really fast. As you can see, it was they brought it up and it was just a really hard hit.
Lowry going for the kill, sending it inbound. So they're going to call that, it's on the line, and they're going to call that a Caveman point.
The Cavemen so far this game have been doing pretty good defensively. They've had strong hits, and they've been placing them well for the most part. Especially in this third set, which is good to see because it can be disappointing losing 2 sets in a row like that.
Barthel brings the ball right back over to the Kingsmen. McCullough's going to bring it again right back over. And Amos getting the point for the Cavemen. They're scoring out 11-6. We're going to show a replay there just to see what happens.
Yeah, the Kingsmen just aren't as good defensively this third set as they were in the first set, especially, and in the second set too. Might be struggling with new players coming on and off the court so much.
Yeah. Barthel trying to get the kill, but blocked. Adams going to take it from the back row. Received by McCullough. McCullough's going to bring it back over. Are they going to call that a touch? No, but they're going to say that was inbounds.
It looks like Lowry is coming off and Keene is coming on.
And number 14, Avery Olson, sending that ball out of bounds.
Looks like Shields is coming off and
Cal Steinman's coming in.
Looks like Steinman's back in as libero. Hopefully that regroup during her timeout.
McCullough sending that ball back over. Amos getting the point for the they're gonna call that out of bounds.
Gonna give the point to the Kingsmen.
You know, Kira, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot of things that disagree with the refs. I mean, obviously they have the final call here. Number 1, Schwartz. Adams bringing that ball over to be received by Harley. Steinman getting the ball and keeping it going. Squatting
into the net.
Yeah. Oh, but they're going to call that a Caveman point.
You know, I'm interested to see with Steinman back on as the libero, if her timeout her break and her extra coaching on the sideline, if she's going to come back even better than she was at the beginning of the set.
So far, it looks like she is. Number 6. McCullough getting the point for the Kingsmen.
Amos is not able to get there. As you can see, ball just comes flying in. Amos dives for it, but she just can't get under it. Ball's coming in so fast.
Number 6, McCullough. Kyle Simon receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Adams going for the kill, but received by Harley. Kyle, a little bit miscommunication between Kyle and Amelia.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was happening there. It looks like Steinman went for it, but tried to back off last second, but it was already coming for her.
Number 6, McCullough with another serve for the Kingsmen. Amelia Amos with the receive. Scolati bringing it over. Harley. McCullough is keeping the ball going. Burns bringing that ball over, and they're going to call that inbounds. We need a replay there to just see what happened.
Yeah, it looks like Amos thought that was going to go out and let it go, but it ended up staying in.
Oh, we couldn't quite see where that ball went there.
You just never really can tell. And you know what? Next time she lets it go, it could be out.
Absolutely. Amelia Amos. Adams bringing that ball over and getting a point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen score 14-11. Cavemen up by 3.
Still anyone's game in this third set.
Alex Lowry coming in for Keene. And senior and captain Cassie Creech with the serve for Mishawaka. Number 5, getting a point right in the open of the Cavemen. Number 4, Hurley. Adams bringing that ball over and getting a point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen are extending their lead by 1.
Looks like Scolati's gonna come off and Shields is coming on and Barthel's coming on for Steinman, who is going out again.
Blocks by Adams. Another Caveman point. We're going to show a replay there so that we can all see that.
Shields is serving. Hopefully she'll be able to get one of her specialties down close to the net. Or
a little too low into the net.
Looks like she tried to get that too low.
Number 3, Carson Petty with a serve for the Kingsmen. Petty sending the ball over the Shields. Lowry barely making it back over, but bringing it back over.
Yeah, it looks like Creech set that a bit too far back.
The ball went over, and Hurley taking her shot, getting a point for the Kingsmen.
Cavemen only able to get a touch on that ball. Just another hit, too powerful, we couldn't keep up with it.
Number 3, Petty bringing the ball over to the Cavemen. Creech bringing the ball just out of the net for the Cavemen to make something happen, and they did. The Cavemen now leading by 3.
You know, I don't know what's changed between the first and third set with the Kingsmen, but they definitely are not as strong defensively as they were in that first set.
Adams with the serve for the Cavemen. Amos bringing it over, but blocked by the Kingsmen. Shields is going to bring it up for Barthel. And that
looks like Barthel got a bit confused there,
yeah.
Was about to set it, but at last minute changed her mind. That's when a little bit of talking will go a long way.
Number 8, Burns. Creech setting the ball up for Lowry and being blocked by Nicola. The Cavemen now 18-15.
And that was an impressive hit by Lowry. She put all her body into that.
Amos bringing that ball over for the Cavemen.
Another impressive hit by Amos.
The score is 19-15. The Cavemen leading by 4.
Looks like a timeout's going to be called. Cavemen currently leading 19-15 in this third set. We're going to go to an ad break, and we'll see you back at the cave after.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the cave for the third set of the backyard brawl, Mishawaka versus Penn. The score is currently 19-15. The Kingsmen have won 2 sets, the Cavemen none.
And Lowry serving it straight into the net there. It's going to be Kingsmen serve now. But first, Kingsmen are making a couple of substitutions. And so are the Cavemen. Lowry's going out, and Keen's coming on.
JV player number 16, Dottie Pogue.
Getting a rare opportunity to play in a varsity game. This can be really great for her.
Dottie Pogue with an ace with her first time seeing varsity. And after all this, she's just a freshman.
Yeah, and for JV players, it can be really beneficial to play at the varsity level just to get used to it so that they're ready for it when their time comes.
Adams sending the ball over the net for the Cavemen. Petty setting it up. Nicola, she decided what to do last minute, and it definitely helped there.
Keen dove for it, but she just wasn't able to get there. Mishawaka needs to work on being more aware of that court and making sure those balls aren't getting past them.
And they're going to call that a Cavemen timeout. We're going to go back to a break. Give my voice a break. Give Kira's voice a break. I'm tired. I'm sure y'all are tired of hearing us. And we'll be back after a quick message.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
And we are back in the cave after this timeout, back with the Mishawaka versus Penn varsity volleyball game. Just quick, while we have a second before this next set. Tomorrow is the varsity football team's second home game against the Concord Minutemen, their first NLC matchup. Well, we weren't able to play the Commissioner's Corner podcast tonight. We will be playing it for you tomorrow before the game. So make sure you come listen to that. It's either during halftime or before the game. Daniel Phillips and Matt Rendell are going to be on the call, and it's going to be a good night.
Yep, I'm definitely going to be there working the camera.
And I'll be down there taking photos as always. You can see a lot of our camera work on YouTube or IHSAA TV, and you can come see my photos on cavemansports.com or maybe my Instagram. Check out my Instagram.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you there.
You know what? Always got to give shameless self-plug.
Yes.
And that is going to be shanked by the Cavemen, a point for the Kingsmen.
Just 1 point apart, anyone's game in this third set. This is going a lot like the second set. It's just super tied. Hopefully it won't go back and forth as much as it did in the second set.
You don't want to go the 28-30 again?
No, not particularly.
Adams bringing that ball over to Schwartz. McCullough going for the kill and getting a point on the Cavemen. The score is now 20-20. Each team 5 points till the end of the set. If the Kingsmen win this set, they win the game. Number 1, Schwartz. Scalati bringing that ball over, barely caught by McCullough. McCullough's gonna bring it back over the crease. He's gonna bring it back over. Creech bringing the ball up for Amos. Amos sending it out of bounds. Another point for the Kingsmen. The score now 20-21. The Kingsmen up by 1. The game is not over yet. Anything can happen, folks.
Yeah, last set we saw this exact thing. Going back and forth and back and forth. You never know who's going to win. Just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Schwartz serving for the Kingsmen. Creech is going to go run for the ball, run into our intern from the Mishawaka Network.
Impressive recovery by the Kingsmen there.
Amos going for the kill, but blocked by the Kingsmen. They're going to call that a Caveman point, tying it back up to 21-21. And I got to put it out there for any students who are listening. We are looking for more freshmen and sophomores to join up in the Mishawaka Network. You have to be taking the broadcasting class just to come join us. We have a lot of seniors leaving us this year, so come join me my senior year. The rest of my junior year is a lot of fun over here with Mishawaka Network.
Yeah, no, I started last year during my freshman year, and I've been loving it so far. I'm now currently a sophomore and still working.
Absolutely. It's a great job opportunity. We do get paid a little bit of money. Can't disclose how much. But it's a great job opportunity, especially as a first job. I started when I was 14. I'm now 16. In my junior year, still working here, and I love it. It's getting me into a lot of opportunities with colleges, getting me the opportunities with businesses around here. I definitely recommend joining the Mishawaka Network if you have the opportunity to.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the game, it looks like Steinman just took a ball to the face there.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can see it in the replay. Ball came down hard.
Oh, not quite. She hit her hand. Look, I'll never
From up here, it looks like that.
Yeah, I'll never forget volleyball practice, 7th grade. Oh, you could hear that one. I know y'all could. And that is going to be a point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen at 23-22. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I will never forget my 7th grade year when I was at volleyball practice and my coach spiked a ball into my face. Totally broke my glasses.
Oh.
Actually, I think I saw her here.
Well, it looks like we're going to call a timeout here.
Looks like it's going to be an officials timeout this time. Well, the officials go talk to the bench. We're just going to keep it here while we have 50 seconds. Might as well.
Yeah, Mishawaka are currently up by 1, 23-22, but that doesn't really mean anything. They've been going back and forth. The Kingsmen and the Cavemen have just been going back and forth, leading by 1 point, tying it up again, and then the other leads by another point. It's still anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a few minutes, and we did talk about tomorrow's broadcast. Just a reminder for anyone who's looking to come, we've had a little bit of issues with security at the Mishawaka game, so security is going to be highly enforced tomorrow at football. So make sure if you are a high schooler or middle schooler going to JYMS or Mishawaka, make sure you have that student ID that you'll be checking. Remember, no tobacco products, no outside food or drinks, no backpacks, and definitely no weapons. And a little bit of a newer rule, if you go to a different school, you are not a Mishawaka or Concord student, you must have a parent with you to be admitted into our game. Schwartz bringing it up for Burns. Amos bringing it over for Adams. Barely getting that ball. Hurley's trying to make something happen. Wasn't quite able to make something happen. It is set point for the Cavemen. Cavemen need one more point to win the set. Penn needs 3 more points to take the set. Cassie Creech serving the ball. Cassie Creech bringing the ball up for Scolati. Hurley, Cocola, and Schwartz all went for that ball. None of them quite able to get that. We're going to keep it here again during this quick little break. We got a few minutes, so I'm going to keep it here. We might go to an ad break. I don't know. There's a lot coming up here. Let's talk about it.
All right.
You know, next week, so tomorrow, as we've talked about several times, we do have the football game versus Concord. Definitely show up, show out. And next week, we only have one broadcast. I know, surprising for us. It is the school board meeting versus JYMS. If you are a Mishawaka parent, student, or staff, I definitely recommend watching that. You learn a lot. At first, I did not like going. Now, honestly, I kind of turned it on at home. You learn a lot about what's going on in your district.
Yeah, and hey, you never know what's going to happen. I remember I was working one of the school board meetings, and they brought a dog out.
Yeah, we have, in School City, we have, is it 2 or 3? I think it's 2.
I think it might be 3.
I don't know. I think it's 3.
3, yeah.
Yep, 3. I just got that confirmed. It is 3 emotional support dogs. They kind of help our social workers in the elementary schools and help out students when they're just having a tough day. Anyways, on to the week after that, the 16th. That is the volleyball versus Northridge here in the Cave. Kira, I'll be there. Are you going to be there?
I believe so.
You are going to be there. I'm looking at the schedule right now. We got a few of us signed up for that.
All righty.
And then after that, it is the football versus Goshen game, which for any Mishawaka students who's wondering, that game is the homecoming game.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna crown our king and queen.
Yeah, I know a lot of the girls are planning on going to homecoming together.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the girls in my class last year when we were freshmen went to homecoming. They're really excited for that.
You know, a lot of people talk about how, homecoming is just a freshman thing. I personally have a lot of fun, Kira.
Yeah.
I don't know if dances are your thing.
Not my thing, but definitely a lot of people seem to enjoy it. And it's just, you can never go wrong with a dance.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Yeah. So
anyways,
that's what we're talking about.
Excuse us. So we have about 40 seconds left until the 4th set. The Penn Kingsmen won the first 2 sets. The Mishawaka Cavemen won the 3rd set. You have to win 3 sets to win the game. So we're going to see if the Kingsmen win this next set, they win. But if Mishawaka wins, we're going to a 5th set, ladies and gentlemen, just like last week where we went to a 5th set.
You know what? Last season, every single game other than one, you can go back and watch them. I called every single time we were going to go into a 5-set game. I'm telling you today, we're going into a 5-set game. My predictions is that the Mishawaka Cavemen are winning. Not because I'm biased, but I'm also a little biased.
Hopeful thinking.
5-set, Cavemen are winning. Quote me on that. If I am wrong, don't come talk to me tomorrow.
I'll remind you after the game. Looks like the girls are getting set up to begin the 4th set.
Cal coming in for Barthel.
Steinman is going to be the libero again. Usually Shields is our libero, but in the 2nd set, Coach Adams switched it so that Steinman is now the libero. It looks like she'll be playing libero again in this 4th set.
You know, Kira, we've had 3 sets now. What are you looking forward to? What have you seen that you've liked? What have you seen that you haven't liked? You know, give us some information. Give us the deets.
Yeah, I've seen both teams have been really on their game offensively. It's just defensively where they're struggling. The Kingsmen had a very strong defense the 1st set, but then the 2nd set, a little less strong than the 3rd set, even less. So let's see how their defense is going to perform this set. And then especially for the Cavemen, I'm really hoping that they analyze the court and look around themselves to find those gaps, because the Kingsmen certainly are finding those gaps, and that's really where a lot of the issues lie.
Well said, well said. We are starting the fourth set with Carson Petty. Somehow the Kingsmen keep it going back over to Scolati. Adamson's going to go for the kill, but blocked. Amos isn't quite able to get there. And the first point on the board going to the Kingsmen.
Looks like that was blocked by Noto, excuse me. Something notable about her, we were talking to the coach before the game. She's just a freshman and playing on varsity. Her sister graduated last year and played her same position. So it looks like Noto is going to be filling in her sister's shoes.
Yeah, Nolo an outside and right side, primarily a right side. Her older sister, also a Nolo, was a right side as well. And so when she graduated, she came in, taking over her sister's spot. So it's definitely great to see, no matter what school you're at, no matter what position you're playing, it's always nice to see a legacy. Ooh, Amelia Amos eating it in the bleachers. Hopefully she's okay.
Looks like she's shaking it off, getting back into the game.
That's how you got to do it. Cal Steinman with the receive. Adams getting a point for the Cavemen.
Before the game, the coach mentioned that the shifting lineouts were going to be hard to cope with, and I think in this game that's one of their big problems, just with players coming in and out so often and different rotations. They're just not able to cope with the new people, and they're not really able to get into a rhythm, and that's really impacting their game.
Yeah, I believe coach said there's 4 injuries on the team right now.
Three
injuries on the team right now. Number 11, number 12, and number 13. All of the middles out for injury. So a lot of new faces, a lot of fresh faces. They're trying to play it cohesively. And, y'all have seen what we've seen. Obviously, they're able to do it.
Yeah, they're playing a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, Burns keeping the ball going for the Kingsmen. Lowry blocked by number 8, Burns. And they're going to call it a 4-touch for the Cavemen. Number 8, Burns, serving for the Kingsmen. Adams is going to bring that ball over to be received by Hurley. McCullough. I don't think the Cavemen quite knew what hit him there.
Yeah. Cavemen now down by 3 points in the 4th set. Kingsmen serve.
Amelia Amos receiving the ball. Adams getting a point for the Cavemen, shrinking their lead. It is now 3-5.
Looks like Shields is coming in for Scolati, and Barthel is coming in for Steinman.
Number 3, Petty.
That was a quick set and hit. Caught the Cavemen completely off guard.
It caught me off guard, honestly, Kira. I just had to sit there and watch for a minute because I wasn't quite sure what happened.
Yeah, one thing the Kingsmen are doing really well is when they can, they're playing the ball really fast, and it's catching the Cavemen off guard.
Looks like Hurley didn't really know if the whistle was blown or not. I didn't hear it, honestly. McCullough keeping the ball going. Number 5, Nalo. Lowry bringing that ball over to be received by Hurley. Nalo almost bringing it over into the net. Scott, ladies and gentlemen, almost going into the bench.
Adams, a strong server for Mishawaka.
Number 3, Patty. Shields keeping the ball going. I don't even think she knew what she was doing.
She just barely got a touch on that.
Barely, but just enough of a touch for the Cavemen to get a point. Adams serving the ball for the Cavemen. Number 6, McCullough attempting to bring it over, but blocked by Lowry. Amos bringing it over, just touching that net, but enough to get a Caveman point. That ties up the score between the Kingsmen and the Cavemen.
Looks like this is going to be another close set.
Adams serving the ball for the Cavemen. Niles gonna try to keep it going, but getting the Cavemen a point. The score is now 7-6. The Cavemen leading by 1.
The Kingsmen have been kind of sloppy in this 4th set.
Little too much power behind that from Adams. That would be a Kingsman point.
Couple substitutions for the Kingsmen.
Adams receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Barthel's going to bring it over and out of bounds. Going to be a Kingsman point, tying up the score yet again, 7-7. Number 1, Schwartz. Creech setting the ball up for Lowry. He's going to get a point for the Cavemen. Hurley not quite able to get there in time.
It is now tied once again. Lowry is going to be serving for the Cavemen.
Lowry bringing that ball up and over, received by McCullough. McCullough bringing that ball back to Adams.
That was a strong hit by Schwartz.
Adams keeping it going. Shanked by number 7.
Schwartz going for it, but she just
Not
can't
quite
get there
able
in
to
time.
get there. Number 7, Aaron Scott shanking that ball. Amos stopping to tie her shoe real fast. Lowry just waiting for that whistle. Miscommunication from McCullough. Cavemen get another point. The Cavemen now leading by 2. And that is going to be a timeout for, I believe, the Kingsmen. We're going to catch a quick ad break. The Cavemen at 10, the Kingsmen at 8, and we'll be back after a quick message.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the Cave. Mishawaka Cavemen are facing the Penn Kingsmen. We're currently in the 4th set. Penn has 2 sets. Mishawaka has 1. Score is currently 10-8. Mishawaka leading, and it's Mishawaka serve. Lowry hitting it over the net.
Schwartz setting it up for senior. Number 13, Amos. Schwartz sending it over to McCullough. McCullough sending it over to Adams.
Adams barely able to receive that.
And Adams getting the point for the Cavemen right in that corner. We're going to show a quick replay of that.
Strong back row hit all the way to the line.
That's how you got to do it. Adams, a lot of power tonight, and finally utilizing it to where she's getting points. Blocked by Megan Barthel. That is a point for the Cavemen. Lowry tripping her over her own feet there.
Another substitution for the Kingsmen.
Schwartz going out, and number 15, another freshman from JV, Josie Garber.
You know, that might be why they're having a little bit of trouble with communication and a little bit of a sloppy play. It's just because they have so many young players.
Amelia Amos blocked by the Kingsmen. Trying again, but blocked yet again. She's gonna try for a third time, blocked again.
That wall is
This
just
time
causing
Lowry.
a lot of problems.
Oh yeah, this time Lowry is gonna get it. McCullough sending it over. Adams receiving the ball. Shields bringing it over. Josie bringing it up, and a point for the Kingsmen. The score now 12-9. The Kingsmen behind by 3. Keene coming in for Lowry. She's going to take a quick break over there. Tripping again. Maybe she's needing that break. Again, my favorite set there, hitting the net and just hitting the floor.
Yeah, Cavemen just weren't expecting that.
What a beautiful ace from McCullough.
I know serves like that happen in tennis, but luckily whenever that happens, we just redo the serve.
Creed setting the ball up for Amos, received by Hurley. Gerber's gonna set it up. Garber, they're gonna call that a Caveman point. There is a 2-touch for the Kingsmen. Simon coming in for Barthel. She's gonna come serve.
You know, the Kingsmen, with all these injuries, are such a young team tonight. A bunch of JV and freshman players. That might be why they're having a little bit of difficulty communicating and just getting good flow.
Number 9, Harper Chudsky with the serve for the Kingsmen. The score now 13-11. The Kingsmen 2 points behind the Cavemen. Scolati bringing that ball over and just missed by McCullough.
Amos is a very strong hitter up at the net, and that translates to her serves, which have a lot of power on them. Let's see. And they will be able to receive.
Garber digging that ball out of the net. Blocked, but Cavemen get the point. The Cavemen are now up by 4. Shout out to Mr. Rendell here for taping on some transmitters to the Crow's Nest wall.
So we can keep this live stream going for y'all.
Yeah, a few technical difficulties behind the scenes that y'all haven't seen. Shout out to our crew for making that possible.
Looks like Steinman just wasn't able to get into that ball and ended up shanking it.
And you know what? I think we got to give a shout out to our athletic department. You know, a lot of our athletic department is brand new. We have Evan Frost and Derek Deshone as our athletic director and assistant athletic director. You know, just kind of shout out to everybody who can make this possible. We wouldn't be here without a team cooperation.
Yeah, they're very crucial to the success of our school teams and definitely don't get enough credit.
Tracy Creech bringing that ball up for Adams, who's going to kill it and gets another point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen now 16-12, up by 4.
You know, if the Cavemen win this set, it's going to be a tied game. So I wonder when the Penn coach is going to start putting in some more of her varsity and experienced players, putting them back in.
Well, I'm almost wondering, because she took some of her experienced players out, if she's just going to let them wait for a minute, let them stew until maybe the 5th set. Maybe she's wanting it to go into a 5th set.
Maybe.
If only we could read her mind right now.
It could be beneficial to her younger players by letting it play out this long, giving her younger players a chance to play in a varsity game, which gives them a lot of experience.
Cassie Creech with the serve for the Cavemen. Received by McCullough, hit in the face. Number 5, Nola. Shanked by McCullough. And that is a point for the Cavemen, 18-12. The Cavemen are up by 5.
Cavemen leading by 6, but
Thank you.
nothing is guaranteed. We've seen this kind of lead by the Cavemen before, and it's ended up being a close set anyways at the end.
Yeah, I know y'all can't see me, but as soon as I said that, I was like, wait, that's not right. I'm over here counting it on my hands. Sorry, Mr. Shiko, I cannot do math.
Luckily, I just did my algebra homework before coming, so.
I am avoiding that. And that will be a Caveman point. I gotta go home, do some anatomy homework. Let's do it at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And that will be a timeout for the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen currently are out of timeouts. The Cavemen still have 2 left. Anything can happen in this 4th set. And we're gonna go to an ad break while anything happens.
Welcome back to the Cave. The Mishawaka Cavemen are playing the Penn Kingsmen. We are currently in the 4th set. The Kingsmen won the first 2. Mishawaka won the 3rd. Now Mishawaka's leading 19-12. If they can secure this 4th set, it is going into a 5-set game, people. Currently, we have Creech is about to serve for the Cavemen. And I'm curious to see if during this timeout, what the coach of the Penn Kingsmen was saying, especially after they won the first 2 sets in a row and now have lost the 3rd and are not doing very well in this 4th.
Now, let me just say, if this is a Caveman win, this is a monumental Caveman win. Last season, Mishawaka lost to Penn twice, all within a week. And so for the Cavemen to bounce back this season, and Penn is intersectional, so we'll see them again in postseason.
Yeah, with Penn being our rivals and pink out night, this is a very special day for the Cavemen. And
Absolutely.
They just got another point.
That brings the Cavemen to 20 and the Kingsmen to 12. The Cavemen up by 8.
Yes.
The math is mathin' today, Kira. Well, now it is. Burns bringing that ball over. Lowry gonna bring it over. Hurley setting it up for Burns and we blocked but got through. That is a call for the Penn Kingsmen. A player was in the net. I believe that was one of the blockers.
You know, that has been a consistent problem for the Cavemen throughout this season. Those net calls, they've really got to watch it.
I've seen it a few times this game even, and it just hasn't quite been called yet. Cassie Creech setting the ball up for Adams and getting a point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen now 21-13.
That wall was not strong enough.
Cal Steinman, a happy player right now. Barthel coming in for her, though.
Steinman definitely all smiles on the court.
And Andy Shields came in for Scolati. Shields with the serve received by McCullough. Petty setting it up. All the girls running out of the bleachers.
Yeah, as soon as that ball comes over to the bleachers, if it's coming your way, you know to run because those players are always very determined to get that ball. And if you don't move out of the way, you're going to get hit.
Oh, absolutely. Number 4, Hurley. Shields receiving the ball for the Cavemen. Lowry bringing it over. Received by Petty. Number 5, Nolo. Miscommunication from Creech. Creech telling her, go, 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 but she's not quite able to. That is going to be a Kingsman point. The score total 21-15. The Cavemen, quite a bit of a lead there, lead by 6.
Yeah, it looks like right there, Adams just got a bit startled by Creech running into her and wasn't able to recover fast
I could
enough.
hear Creech even saying, go, 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 make something happen. And speaking of making something happen, she did. That is another point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen are now 3 points away from taking the set.
They hit that ball hard, but just went straight through her hands.
Received by number 7.
Amazing save by Creech there, just barely able to get the ball up, but she was, and the team recovered.
Received by Shields, sending it out of bounds at Kingsman point, and celebrating.
You know, they may have lost that point, but I think they played well. Especially with that save from Creech. Just like we're talking about in post-game, sometimes the score just doesn't accurately reflect how the team plays.
Yeah. Lowry, too much power, sending that way out of bounds. The Cavemen still at 22, the Kingsmen now at 17. Hitting the net, but making it over. Creech setting the ball up for Amos, getting the point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen need 2 more points to take the set. The crowd is getting excited. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that was yet again another failed receive by the Penn Kingsmen. They have not been on their defensive game in this set.
We need a viewer to go through and tally how many times we've said anything can happen. Number 1, Schwartz, not quite able to get there. Set point for the Cavemen.
Again, the Kingsmen just letting that ball drop when really there's no excuses not to get that ball over. Coach is definitely not happy about it.
Number 10, Burns, bringing it over. Creech setting the ball up for Amos. And Amos getting the set point. That brings Mishawaka the 2 sets, Penn to 2 sets, tying the score up. We will have 3 minutes before set number 5. I'm saying it again, my predictions, Mishawaka winning in set number 5. We'll see what happens after this ad break.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
And we are back in the cave after 4 crazy sets from the Mishawaka Cavemen and the Penn Kingsmen. So far, the Kingsmen and the Cavemen are tied up 2 for 2.
Yeah, the Penn Kingsmen, it seems like after that first set, it was going to be, they were going to win all 3 and it was going to be over.
Yeah, the first set being 25-18.
Yeah, but
you can continue.
So, yeah, they really did well in that first set, but the Kingsmen have just kind of fallen off and haven't been performing very well, and Mishawaka has taken advantage of that. And after those first 2 sets Penn won, Mishawaka won the other 2, and now we're heading into a 5th set, which I believe only goes to 15 points.
It does. Just to recap the first 4 sets, the first set being 25-18, the second set being 30-28, Penn winning both of those. The third set, 25-22, Mishawaka winning. And then the fourth set, which you viewers just saw, was 25-17. And this set will only go to 15 points. You know, we talked a little bit about Steve Anderson, some alum, and seeing some big Mishawaka coaches here. We got to talk about one alumni here. That is Ellie Adams' older sister. And that is a Caveman point, first on the board.
Cassie serving for the Cavemen, always a strong server, and she gets it over.
McCullough bringing it over and out of bounds, getting the Cavemen another point.
There's too much power on that. Looks like Cassie's going to be serving. Serves it, and it's over. Back over to Mishawaka's side. Saved by Steinman, set up by Creech. Hit by Adams, strong hit. Kingsmen weren't able to recover from that sloppy receive. And it's going to be a Mishawaka point. As you see in this replay, just hit it, received wrong, and that's ruined the whole point for them.
Yeah, just real fast, just to say it again. We have Ellie Adams' older sister, Emily Adams, here in the court, watching her mom coach and her younger sister play during her senior year. Quite a legacy here in the cave, folks. Anyways, back to the game. McCullough bringing the ball over to Amos. Creech is going to bring that ball up for Scolati, who's going to send it way out of bounds, getting the Kingsmen their first point on the board. Looks like the ref kind of looked at the Cavemen asking if, seeing what they thought. And the Cavemen said, no, that's their point. Gotta love the honesty there.
Yeah, definitely. Want to play a good, honest game.
Adams bringing the ball over, barely received by Hurley. McCullough's going to bring it over to Steinman. Adams bringing it over and getting another point for the Cavemen. The score now 4-1.
Looks like that hit by Adams had a lot of power on it. It might have gone
You could
out if
hear
it hadn't been received.
You could definitely hear it there.
We're going to have Shields serving for Mishawaka. See if we can get one of her famous close to the net serves.
Shields serving the ball over the number 8, Burns. Burns sending that ball way out of bounds. Oh, they're going to call that inbounds. And
Burns has definitely been a very strong hitter for Penn Kingsmen. They've been setting her up a lot, and her serves and her hits just have so much power on them. Mishawaka can't get under them.
Yeah. Cassie Creech setting the ball up for Lowry, going for the cover, received by Hurley. Schwartz is going to bring it over the Burns. Creech is barely going to get under there. Amos bringing the ball over the net, received by Burns.
Amazing recovery
Schwartz
by the
setting it up for
Cavemen.
Nolo. Adams is going to block it, but it's going to get through. Another point for the Penn Kingsmen. The score is 4-3. This is close and stressful.
Mishawaka now leading by only 1 point.
Hurley bringing it over for the Cavemen.
Looks like Burns might have hit that a bit wrong, but it worked
Yeah.
out.
Adams getting the point for the Cavemen. You know, I just had to let that sit and marinate for a second. Like,
Adams' hit was just too strong, even for that wall.
Allie Adams serving the ball in. Burns bringing it over, and they're going to call that inbounds.
Yet another impressive hit from Burns.
Number 3, Carson Petty, a junior at Penn High School. Cassie Creech setting the ball up for Lowry, served by Hurley. Petty bringing that up for Burns and blocked by Barthel. McCullough bringing it over, received by Creech. Amos is going to bring it over, but blocks. And that is going to be a Kingsman point for a lift on the Caveman side.
The game is now tied 5-5. Remember, this 5th set only goes to 15 points.
So any team only needs 10 more. And there is a Caveman point.
That ball just went straight into the net, you know, especially at the varsity level, and especially in a 5th set. When it's this close, you cannot afford to have serves going in the net.
Alex Lowry serving the ball, and there is a touch from the Kingsmen. That is going to be a Caveman ball. Just a slight touch there, but even a slight touch matters here, folks.
Looks like she didn't even mean to do it. It was just reflexes. She instinctively reached out for it. Should have let it go.
Miscommunication there from Hurley and McCullough, but Burns is going to bring it over the Creech. Amos bringing it over. Almost getting a point there, not quite. Received by Lowry. Creech is going to set it up for Adams. Adams receiving that ball. Creech bringing it over, but not in time for Petty to stop it. Barthel.
Looks like they were ready for that strong hit by Burns, but she faked them out. And instead of one of her strong hits, she just gave them a little tap over the net, and they weren't ready for that short ball. I'd like to take a minute to shout out the football team. They're here staying late into a 5th set, even though they have a big game tomorrow. That's dedication.
I don't care. We were just talking about it. We both got assignments to do, tests tomorrow.
Looks like the Kingsmen are choking a little bit. That's their 2nd serve that has either gone out or in the net.
Kyle Simon bringing that ball over to Hurley. Petty's going to set it up. Simon and Keene both going for it. Neither of them quite getting there.
Both fine with that injury, laughing it off together. That's what we like to see.
It's what you do is what counts. You know, they both went after it. The energy was there, the effort was there, and that's what matters right now. Keene getting that ball and sending it out of bounds. That'll be another point for the Kingsmen, tying the score up 8-8.
Cassie Creech almost ran in to the people over there.
You know, sometimes it's what you got to do. Number 16, Dottie Pope.
Looks like the Kingsmen touched it and went out of bounds. It's going to be a Caveman point. Cavemen now leading by 1 point.
6 more points to win the game.
We're going to have Amos serving. Very strong hitter at the net. Translates to her serve.
A lot
Very
of pressure
powerful
there,
one.
though. Amos serving the ball, received by Hurley. McCullough can bring it over, but blocked by Scalati and creating another point for the Cavemen. The Cavemen now 5 away from getting the win.
Looks like
and
a
that is going
timeout.
to be a timeout from the Kingsmen that we recuperate. We are going to stay here for a second and just kind of talk about everything. You know, we've seen a lot of Caveman improvement here. I know their last few games haven't been great for them. Their first game ending in a win, their second game ending in a win, even doing well during tournaments. But that last game against Elkhart and Warsaw, not quite there for the Cavemen. After a lot of talks from Coach Randa and having a lot of energy there and having talks about bringing energy and not having those negative talks, negative conversations during games.
Yeah, I know she
They're
definitely
doing really well.
She talked about setting goals for themselves and as a team. And I think they really are reaching those goals in this game tonight. They didn't perform well in the first 2 sets, but with the energy and pink out night and the backyard brawl and this rivalry, once they won that 3rd set, they just got that energy and that flow, got the 4th set, and now it looks like they might get the 5th set.
Amelia Amos with the serve for the Cavemen. And there's a point for the Cavemen. Cavemen 11-8. This could be a monumental win for the Cavemen here.
This would be a huge comeback, and it would mean so much to the girls winning on their pink out night. And when facing Penn, so many of the girls said their goal this entire season was just to beat Penn. This would mean so much to them to win this 5th set.
Absolutely. Amelia Amos with the serve for the Cavemen. Blocked by the Cavemen. Another point. They are 3 away from taking the game.
The team is hyping each other up right now. There's a bunch of cheering on from the sidelines. The JV team is going wild. Everyone's excited.
Amos with another set here. Number 15 bringing it over and getting another point for the Kingsmen. Number 15 is freshman Josie Garber.
Looks like she's heading out now. Subbing for Schwartz, who's going to be serving. She's a very good server for the Kingsmen, so let's see how the Mishawaka
And Nolo coming
proceed.
back in. Schwartz serving to Cal Steinman, almost knocking her over, getting another point for the Kingsmen. I think if the Cavemen can just get the ball back into their possession for the serve, they got this.
Yeah.
But they got to keep that defense up. And there it is, Coach Rando calling a timeout. We're going to go to an ad break so we can talk about this game.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we are back to this tight game of the Mishawaka Cavemen against the Penn Kingsmen. The Cavemen need 3 more points to win, and Kingsmen need 5. Amelia Amos with the receive.
Just barely able to get under that.
Yeah. Number 1, Schwartz sending it over to McCullough, but blocked by Scalati. McCullough trying again, receives.
Into the benches, but brought back. Amazing recovery from the Cavemen.
And Keene just touching that enough to make it shank. That's going to be a Kingsman point. Kira, I don't know about you, I'm nervous.
Me too. Mishawaka really needs to get this ball back in order to get their momentum going.
They got to keep that defense there. Their offense is there. Their defense isn't quite there right now. They need to keep the defense there. McCullough bringing that ball over, received by Amos. Creech going to set the ball up for Adams. Received by McCullough, nice and gently there. Nolo getting a point for the Kingsmen. They're now tied 12-12. 3 points for either of them, and they win the game.
Just like the second, the third, and the fourth set, this is going to be down to the wire.
Number 1. Ellie Adams bringing that ball over into the net.
Mishawaka Cavemen now down by 1 point, 12-13.
And that is going to be a timeout from Coach Adams. We're going to head to another ad break. This is crazy, Kira.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
And we are back, Caveman fans, in set 5 of the backyard brawl, Mishawaka versus Penn. Anything can happen. Cal Simon receiving the ball, sending it over the Creech. Adams going for the kill, sending it out of bounds. It is now match point. Kira, I'm nervous.
Me too. Cavemen were leading in this set. Now the Kingsmen are leading. If they win this point, they win the game.
No!
And it's the game.
And the ball is shanked. That is a Penn win.
All the way to the 5th set, and Penn pulled through.
You know, Kira, I feel like the Cavemen put it all out on the court today.
They did. They got off to a rocky start in the first and second sets, but they pulled themselves together, and they really showed that motivation in the 3rd and 4th sets to win that. And even in the 5th set, they were all there.
Just
they were
3
hyped up.
points behind.
They showed so much energy, and they were out there supporting each other. And honestly, it was close. And Mishawaka Cavemen they played well.
Very well played from the Cavemen. Well, this is it for today. Tomorrow, make sure you tune in for the Mishawaka versus Concord football game. You'll hear Daniel Phillips and our teacher Matt Rendell on the call. Commissioner's Corner during halftime. We got a few halftime reports for y'all. We're looking forward to it. Signing out, till next time.